Katie. Hi, Katie. Can you hear us?
Yes, hi.
Lovely. Yes, we got you. Well, we're good. Thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good.
Good. Welcome. Nearly there. We're nearly there, Alex.
I'm so sorry. That is not a response you want to see when you join a Google Meet.
But it can
at
be.
like 8 o'clock.
It's understandable because it is
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, you're right.
And
you're
you're all right. Give yourself
That's
a
fine,
bit of,
isn't
yeah,
it?
you're all right.
We're allowing that.
Yeah, we are allowing that.
And to be fair, for some of the meetings you have to go to, Katie, you probably do turn up to them. There's a few people that are a bit like that, innit?
At least it's not beer.
Wow.
There's no
This is
beer
not
in
beer.
there.
I've never listened to full 24 hours though, Alex.
Move to this one, I think.
Yeah, I'll sit on there, yeah.
I think it's
'Cause I
better.
can see better on the camera.
Yeah, we can see you over there. You can see us, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool, fine. I don't know if I can hit.
So you can hear. Ciao, ciao. See you later. Take care. Nice to see you.
So we've got lots of.
Yeah, people are moving in and
There's
out now. There's lots of
here.
movement.
Yeah, sorry, we're in the
That's
crazy
okay.
hours.
Yeah.
So, Katie, I don't know if we've actually met before. I may have seen you like round a table and I've been sat on the sidelines or something. Don't know if we physically met, have we?
I think we met once at there was the Disability Awareness Day, but I think we were both there with young ones and it was just a flying like hello.
Okay,
Nice
cool.
to put a face to the name. Like
That sounds like my vibe, to be fair. I like those sort of things. I'm all for that.
On the hop meets.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for that. That's great. So, Katie, so for those who don't know who Katie is, both in the room and online, would you just share a little bit about who you are and your role? And you said on your notes you wanted to talk about the Neots Town Council. That would be great to understand your perspective.
yeah, so I'm Katie. I'm a town councillor for Neots East, so covering Loves Farm and Wintringham area. And so I started on the town council 3.5 years ago, and it's kind of like my first jump into the council world, and so it's been quite a steep learning curve. And
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Can I ask you, Katie, because I shared earlier on that I was a town councillor.
Yeah,
Where I
yeah, I
lived
didn't know that about you until,
Yes, in Stevenage. It was our first council, and I was part of the first founding council
Wow.
in Stevenage. And can I ask you what kind of motivated you to get into that work, that voluntary role, should I say?
yeah.
It is voluntary.
Yeah. I saw a Facebook post, I think it was Stephen Ferguson had put up the post that the elections were coming up. And I was still on maternity leave with my second, so she was coming up 1 year old. And I was very much like I wanted to improve the town for like, I don't think when you have children, you get into this sort of like you start getting very forward looking and you want to improve everything and do what you can. And I read the Facebook post and I thought, well, this looks like a good opportunity to do that. And then I went through all the self-doubt of, I bet you there's a million people in like, well, not a million, but there's a lot of people that would probably be better positioned to do this than me. But then I kind of taught myself back into it. And I was like, well, give it a shot. And yeah, ended up on the town council.
Do you know what? The reason I ask is because I don't assume anything.
Yeah.
But I had a funny feeling that you might have gotten into it for exactly the same reason I did. I had 2 small children, and I was thinking about the town from their perspective and what it is I wanted for them as they grew up, and then wanted to have a hand in what that may or may not look like. So it sounds as if that was very similar.
Like place nesting.
Yeah, absolutely, because you want to be part of it, right? And so what's your experience kind of been like?
I think there's been a lot of positives I think there's a lot of the councillors that had come in from doing previous terms have been very supportive, like making me feel very able to like hit the ground running and come in with ideas. And because I didn't necessarily, I had ideas and I didn't really know how the council world worked to put forward the ideas. So officers and other councillors have been very good at like guiding me on how the process works. I think it's been quite eye-opening at times that things can be quite slow moving, which I hadn't necessarily realised.
Oh.
But yeah, it's been. So I think one of the ideas I originally, like at the very start, I thought coming to the council, I was very aware that there wasn't very many. I mean, I'm not that young, to be fair, in the grand scheme, but when I joined the council, I was the youngest councillor there, and I very much wanted to bring in that, like, mother of young children that's wasn't being represented at the time. And so I had the idea of a baby loss memorial garden. And I think what worked well with that was I didn't really, at the time, I didn't know how the town council worked very well. So I was just very much like, let's just build the garden. And yeah. And actually, I think probably part of that, it did actually move quite quickly in terms of the council. And I think part of that came from...
Have you seen it? It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Sorry.
I didn't realise you were behind that.
That's wonderful. Yes, stunning.
Yeah, I think it all moved very quickly in terms of typical council stuff, probably because I didn't know that it wasn't typical that things would happen that fast. So I think that in some ways that was quite a good outcome of being a bit naive about how things typically progress.
Interesting, isn't it? So when in business, in politics, whatever, in life, we do a lot of work with young people, and I do a bit of mentoring, and I always speak to them early days about when they want to put themselves out there. So your situation is like, I'm going into something new, don't know what's going. You can have two choices. I'm trying to think of the reference. Who's the professor and the small guy, new cartoon? What? No. He's a curious beginner and a generous expert, basically.
Oh, I have not got a clue.
Anyway, it's funny. I'm way too tired to
yeah, that one.
Why did I try a reference? Damn it! Or long words. But the concept is like you get to choose in life generally, and depending on where you are in a conversation, you can be the curious beginner or the generous expert, and both work just as well when you're getting things done. By the way, I share your when I first put my hand up at this initiative to chair the thing, I literally had no idea what the hell I was signing up for. and all I said was, look, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm definitely going to make mistakes. And I'll do it until I get tired or fired. They were literally what I said. I have no idea what I've just put my hand up for. So I think we resonate, not in the same way. I haven't done the council a bit, and I probably never will. But I respect you for doing that, both of you.
Thank you. It is interesting because, like, and again, this is I'm going to go find Katie because I'm like, girl, we need to talk.
Yeah, I love why you came into that. That's really
and because I think it's important that when we talk about decision making in community, it has to be driven by the people in the community, which is why I can't stand like the majority of politics. We're not talking about politics today because we've managed to. We've done all right.
We've done really
well.
But
it tends to be that people at the top govern the people without any experience of what the people have gone through. That annoys me. Yeah. So when I was at that position, I was like, right, I want to be part of it so I can start to inform the decisions that are being made on the ground for me or for people that, are in my situation. It's differently to yours, though, Katie. Everything was so slow. And when I say so slow, I remember one situation, somebody came in and asked for some money to go towards soft play for our particular town where we lived. And it was a new town. So there was a little bit of bureaucracy with the existing big town, right? Who kind of saw it as are they really belong to us? Oh, they're new. They've got your own council and that kind of rubbish. And I was in the room and this group of people came in. They said, we need 500 quid to get this soft play stuff. I'm a mum. So they go and they pitch it. And I go, yep, great. I say they can have the money. And I was expecting it to just be, yeah, sure, okay, I second it, off you go. And it was like, well, where exactly are the children from? Yeah. And will the other children be using this stuff? Yeah. And I was like, it's kids. Like, they just want a bit of... And it was so irritating to me.
500 quid or something.
Yeah, 500 quid. And I remember at that point, I was like, And I was starting to see the way the councillors were kind of operating, and it wasn't quite as community focused as it was, and all this kind of bureaucracy. So firstly, well done for staying it out, because, you know, and sticking at it and really getting stuff done. I left after 2 years because I'd had enough. And I was like, this is doing my head in. I can't get anywhere quick enough. And I don't understand why these decisions are taking so long. And I want to see things happen quite quickly.
Isn't that a shame? So we had Ian Solomon earlier with Richard Shaw, and we were talking about civic participation. So I'm passionate that people like you do what you do. I'm honestly, I couldn't be more behind you. And actually, from a public sector perspective, I probably speak to people in public sector more than any other, usually officer level or a director level. But, you know, either way, massive respect. Youth workers, anyone in social care, anyone who's working in the community's interest, regardless of what the role is. So I want to make sure that that's captured. I'm not before. But we need more people to be local councillors. I know there's a massive shortage of people putting their hand up, because people keep ringing me up going, Alex, can you get someone to become a councillor? You know, that's an issue, isn't it? Let's talk about that. Like, and you sharing your experience there, hopefully will inspire someone else to put their hand up.
Yeah, because there's elections coming up in May, so I think it would be great to put a call out for anyone that's thinking, oh, is this something I'd be interested in? Is it not? Like, feel free to reach out. And
you should do it.
Yeah.
And are you happy to share your experiences if someone was to reach out to you about that process? Because it can seem a bit daunting. And
100%. And to be fair, I think the application forms and that, there's always someone there that's prepared to like sit down with you and talk you through, because it can be daunting at first.
I bet they hold the pen for you, don't
they? Yeah.
I think it's more the bit that we've talked about here. I think having if you've got someone who's navigated their way through there to make a positive change, and it is lovely. I've seen it. It's fabulous what you did, by the way. I didn't realise you were behind that, and I know. You really fought hard for us in recent things that those Neots initiative were trying to do as well. So, like, massive respect for that. I think, if you're willing to be open to a conversation with someone who may want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's lovely. That's really nice.
I think it's about as well, because in my second year, I put myself forward to be chair of promotions and events. And I think because there's a lot of terminology and rules over who speaks when and stuff, but I think it was just that acceptance and realization that it's absolutely okay to make a mistake. It's okay to have an officer come in and say, oh, actually, you just need to do this bit before you do that bit, and that the world keeps on spinning and everything's fine.
And also the element to say, look, I've seen like that, the House of Lords TV. And they're all and heckling each other. I'm like, you can't tell me when to talk. Like, I've seen some of them people, the way that they are, like, oh, the good councillor, and they're all heckling one another. Really gets on my goat, because half the time they are talking about real community impact stuff with this sense of like joviality around it. I'm like, what are you laughing for? This isn't funny. This is people's lives. And yet in local councils, you have to follow protocol, with a seriousness that is not often seen at the highest levels of office. So, firstly, to second what Katie said, if you are interested in exacting change and being one of those people that helps to inform the way in which we live our lives in local in local communities, then please do it. And also another thing I want to say, and this is Matt, because we've been talking about our elders and how much there is a lot to be taken from our elders. There really is. And in communities before, and I'm from the Caribbean, our elders are seen as people. I get called auntie, and I'm like 46. I'm like, what do you mean auntie? I'm not that old yet. Do you know what I mean? But there is a reverement for people who are older, who have had experience and have had knowledge and have seen life and have something positive to contribute. But on the flip side of that, especially when it comes to stuff like this, there can also be, and we were also talking about holding two truths today, there can be an awful lot of progress that is stopped as a result of some of that.
Social contracts.
And this is the way it's always been done, not taking into consideration that there is a demographic of community that's coming up who've got their own ideas of looking at things with a better lens, and you know, and that's okay. We've got to, but to do it in a very respectful way and to acknowledge that those two truths exist at once. So, you know, in terms of being young and having 2 children, your perspective and your lived experience means that's important.
I'm happy you're in there on that basis.
Absolutely,
totally,
yeah. Because you're repping for all the parents, right? Who've got young ones out there who want to see the town create, you know, develop into something that's safe and appropriate and full of stuff. Like, you know, we're often talking about the children not having anything to do, and well, it's because we've got nothing for them to do.
No, I know, yeah, exactly.
So let's provide them with something to do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's interesting there when we talk about culture, I wrote an article, it must be a year or so ago, saying about cliques aren't community. And it was really about, at a central government level, I spend, quite frankly, way too much time at central government these days. And you see it there, like you say, it's, you know, it's lots of ego, lots of, you know, power, and that must get quite addictive, and, you know, and you see them shouting at each other and heckling, whatever. But that culture, and it's not just exclusive to St Neots, by the way. It's all over the country. Everywhere I go and I travel this country, I speak to people, and it's similar characters that come up. That you can almost like shape them. You know, you can mould them and put them around, right? And it doesn't help when we don't have civic like that conversation, like holding up challenges in a room and having a honest, like I say, holding 2 truths in a room. And I think that, you know, bring it back to the Citizen Hub, I think where we've had a lot of success in engagement and civic engagement, where we can hold up challenges in a room that say, look, no silos, no egos in here. Let's have a conversation about an issue.
Find a solution.
And let's find some solutions. And ultimately, you know, if the councillor is in a room or an MP or whatever wants to take something away from that and go do something about it, great. But at the same time, if we've got 3 young guys who want to start a run club because they do it. You know, ultimately, that I think holding those two spaces is important. So, yeah, we're really happy for that you're doing what you're doing, Katie, and the reasons you're doing it. I'm very excited about the conversation that's ongoing with St Neots Initiative and the St Neots Town Council and the other local authorities. I think it's developing into a really positive relationship, especially now we've got Richard in charge. I know you spent some time with Richard, so big up to Richard, who's also still here.
Yes,
with Sue. Come on, you two.
Love that,
honestly. Yes. Yeah, mate. Yeah, you know. But I know genuinely very excited about it because this town is, you know, we've got this incredible opportunity. We genuinely, like, you never have seen like an economic boom like we were going to experience in the next 10 years in a market town context. You know, Universal Studios, East West Rail, all these houses being built and blah, 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 you know, loads of it going on. But could be one of the biggest own goals if we don't find a way to collaborate. So I'm very happy that you're there. I'm happy that Richard's in the position he's in, and other people are coming to the table with the mindset as open as yours to say, hey, yeah, you know what? Differences, blah, blah, but let's have a conversation and try and find a way to do something positive together.
What's the world we want to share look like? And let's all work towards that.
Amen. Katie, do you want to leave us with any parting words or a message for the community?
I think the biggest, like, I don't know if the word call out is the right thing, but I think so. I'm now 35, and I'm currently the youngest councillor, which is quite shocking to me in a lot of ways. Yeah,
really,
so
really.
Yeah, so as much as I think the council ideally would be as diverse as possible and representing the community, and I think just a call out to anybody of any age, but especially people that aren't currently represented on the council, to put themselves forward for the election. And yeah, it's very rewarding, and it's a great opportunity to contribute to the community.
And happens, right? You can only try it. So put your name down. I remember just before you leave, I remember when I was nominated, I had your photo and I had like 450 votes. I was like, oh no! I didn't know these 450 people. And I think it was probably not really a choice. It's just, is it okay? But it's such a joy when you are, you know, when people kind of see your vision and they read about you and they understand what you will want to deliver and they get behind that. So congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
Keep going. It's amazing.
Keep going, Katie. And we'll speak soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. And thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of today. And thank you for running today. And yeah, it's been amazing. So many inspirational people and real like thought-provoking conversations. I've been dipping in and out throughout the day, and yeah, it's been amazing. So thank you.
Oh, bless you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Katie. Lovely to see you. Enjoy your rest of your evening. Yes. We will.
Yeah.
We're nearly there.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, well done,
Thank you so
Katie. Big up.
Thank you.